Welcome to Mr. Dave's How to Use My MIDI Files tutorial. In this video, I'll show you how the MIDI files of my piano solos can be used with music software to supplement or enhance my video piano lessons. This is done by generating a virtual 3D player piano keyboard like the one you see on your screen and in my piano lessons. This 3D piano keyboard can be used to help you learn and master my piano solos because it plays my MIDI files exactly how I played them. It can play the song over and over at any reduced speed you select. It has no hands obstructing the view of the keys. It can zoom into any part of the keyboard to study parts you might find difficult. It does not change the pitch of the keys when the speed is reduced. Even though my MIDI files can be played on other player piano music software such as GarageBand, Synthesia, PowerTracks, Band in a Box, and so on, I use a versatile music software program called midi-file to generate the virtual 3D player piano keyboard that you see on the screen. midi-file can be easily downloaded from the internet or the Apple App Store and installed on PCs or Apple computers, iPads, and iPhones. I'll now show you how to download and set up midi-file software to be used with my MIDI files to be a fantastic learning tool to supplement or enhance my video piano lessons. Let's get started. I'll show you where to download midi-file software, and then I will show you how to set up midi-file to generate the virtual 3D piano keyboard and how to install and play my MIDI files on the 3D piano. I've got a link already set up to the midi-file website at www.yknk.org. Go to the download folder, and from here you can download midi-file software for Windows on PCs, for Apple computers and Apple devices, iPads, iPhones. You can also download midi-file from the Apple App Store. However, you need to be aware that midi-file software for Windows requires that you download and install DirectX before installing midi-file for Windows to make it work. Apple computers or devices do not require any additional software to be installed. It's worth noting that the manual is very user-friendly, but I'll show you everything you need to know to get started. Assuming you've downloaded midi-file and installed it, let's open the software. And the first thing that you need to do is go to Option and MIDI Out. You need to select your built-in or external computer speakers to receive your midi-file sound output. For Microsoft computers, you need to select the Microsoft GS Wavetable Synth. If you have an Apple computer, you have to select Apple DLS Music Device. Now I've got my computer connected via MIDI cable to my electronic piano, so I'll select that, and my MIDI sound will go directly to my piano keyboard. Now the next thing you need to do is to set up this virtual 3D keyboard, and this is where you do it. You select Piano Roll Rain 2D, you select Piano Keyboard, and you can select the counter, and that tells you the speed of the song being played. If you slow it down, it shows you what percentage, and just for fun we'll put a background image of a band I used to play with. I'll select the repeat. Now to load the MIDI file, you need to go to File, Open File folder, and we'll use my standard MIDI file, Johnny Be Good piano solo. You double click on this, and there you have the keyboard. Now to start my Johnny Be Good MIDI file playing, I hit the spacebar on the computer keyboard and it starts playing. Now let's set this view to full screen. Now, if you're not familiar with MIDI, a good analogy is the old acoustic player pianos with piano rolls that could mechanically activate the piano keys to play the song. I won't go into a lot of detail here, but my electric piano transmits digital information that is stored on a MIDI file. MIDI is an acronym for Musical Instrument Digital Interface. It is a very small file, but packed with lots of information about my piano solo, with exactly what keys were played and in what time sequence. Also, the amount of time that each key was played and how hard or softly and so on. When this MIDI digital information is fed back to my electric piano through special MIDI cables, it plays the keyboard exactly how I played it. Or in other words, an electronic version of the acoustic player piano. The raindrops that you see on the screen are a visual representation of the digital data stored in the Johnny B. Goode MIDI file that is driving the virtual 3D piano keys the way I played them on the electric piano. I'll now show you how to manipulate the piano keyboard views and the tempo to help you in the learning process. Now, there are 3 keys for fixed views on the keyboard here at 7, 8, and 9. So 7 is the front view, 8 is a side view, 9 is a side view, and 7 we go back to the horizontal. Now let's zoom in and out. So you've got your arrow keys on your keyboard, so up, down, and then left and right. So the up arrow will zoom in the keyboard, the down arrow goes out, and you can go right and left with this keyboard with the left and right arrows. Now, if you really want to take control of the keyboard and zoom in further, then you take your mouse and you just click on the screen like I've done there, and now you've got control of the keyboard. You can position it up in this higher position and then use your arrow key to zoom right in to wherever you want to focus, learn some difficult parts or whatever. Now let's move that back so we can see more of the view. Now what I'll do is slow this down. This is probably the most important aspect. And you use the number 4 key, and I just toggle that. And you can see down here at the bottom the speed and the percentage of the original tempo. So I'm moving it right down to 50%. Okay, you get a very good aspect here, and I'm sure you can think of many options for learning the piece, and I'll just bring the speed back up. You use the number 5 key. You can see on the bottom here where my arrow is. I'm bringing it back. There we go. I'll just put this back to the standard view. Number 7. Now, if you find those raindrops a bit distracting and you want to remove them, well, I can show you how to do that. I'll just spacebar, stop, escape to get back to the beginning. And I got to make sure I'm locked in. Whoops, there we go. Go up to option, go to graphic, and you've got the quarter note length here at 100%, which is a default. Now we'll set that to 0 to remove the raindrops, and later if you want to bring back the raindrops, you just come here and type the 100% back in. Here's where you load any background images, and let's hit the space bar, and we should start playing without the raindrops. Well, there you have it. Everything you need to know to get started using my MIDI files. If you ever want to supplement or enhance my video lessons. By now you should be able to download and install midi-file software. You should be able to set up the midi-file software to generate a 3D piano keyboard. And you should be able to input my MIDI piano solo files into midi-file software. However, if you don't already have any of my MIDI files, there's a link on the screen for you to follow if you wish to download any of them. And you should be able to manipulate the midi-file 3D piano keyboard in different ways to assist you in learning my piano solo. If you have found this video helpful, please hit the like button. If you don't want to miss any of my future video lessons or MIDI file downloads, please subscribe. Cheers!